On 2B2T, there have been many wars fought throughout time. The war on water, the war on nether highways, and the war on YouTubers. But today I am going to explain how an automatically updating newspaper made out of map art caused a war on 2B2T involving many of the more prominent groups on the server, and how the war caused an outrage for the entire community. Welcome back to another 2B2T video, and remember to hit that subscribe button and the like button to help the channel out, and turn on all notifications to make sure you keep up to date on 2B2T. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. How did a newspaper cause a war on 2B2T? So, I'm sure you've all heard of map art in Minecraft. We will need to know a few things about map art first. You are able to create a 128 by 128 image in-game using Minecraft blocks called a map art, and can then display it like a painting using an item frame and an empty map. Well, that is what the newspaper is made out of. It is a map art, and it has been spread all around the server. Over 750,000 copies throughout the past 6 months. And the newspaper covers current events and other stories, as well as the odd comic from time to time. I mean, it is a newspaper. There are even paper boys and paper girls that help spread the newspaper around weekly. Almost every person that has joined 2B2T in the past half of year has seen one of these at some point. Well, what you don't know is that the 2B2T newspaper, called the 2B2T Times, is constantly under attack. Let me explain why. On 2B2T, due to the version of Minecraft it runs on, these map arts can be overwritten by people, turning all 750,000 of these newspapers into whatever they want. Due to the fact that in 1.12.2, the version of Minecraft 2B2T is on, there are only 64,000 map IDs for the entire server. And one is taken each time you create a new map, and it will replace the older maps with the same ID number. So 32,000 positive IDs and 32,000 negative IDs. And during the negative IDs, maps do not work. But when you begin making positive map ID numbers again, then the new maps begin overwriting the old positive IDs. So, due to the fact that the paper is spread all over 2B2T, it makes it very valuable to overwrite, which has been attempted many times in the past half of year. Mostly by 2B2T shops that sell items and want their shop advertisement to overwrite the map. Because there are shops that make hundreds or even thousands per month from items. But the 2B2T newspaper has a way to fight back. And fight back it has. Here's how. Welcome to the 2B2T Times headquarters. A nearly fully automated, fully AFKable map creation and map manufacturing mega factory. Complete with all of the latest technology needed to create empty maps and item frames to infinity. You have a sugarcane farm that is needed to create paper, which will be used to make empty maps. And you have an AFK cow farm that I created, along with a module for auto-feeding the cows as the minecart passes by. This is needed for leather, for the item frames. Then we also have a wheat farm to replenish the food for the cows to breed as well. Several thousand maps per week can be created here and stockpiled for use in the future. And remember, if you have 64,000 maps, you could potentially overwrite all of the other maps on the server. The map making process itself is automated, with only myself and my friend Frank having access to the actual location. But we also employ the use of up to 3 bots, which can automatically destroy the old story and create the new one simultaneously, using Baritone and Schematica. The topics for each week are suggested by the community and voted on by our editors. So each week, this is how we create the new story, taking roughly a few hours. In addition to that, The 2B2T Times, rather than making new map IDs each time they release a story, we copy the same ID number each time. So we just make copies of the same map ID. People can also see the map art actively updating in their inventory while we're making it on each Friday, due to us using the same ID. So we just need to worry about making sure that we always claim that map ID number. This has allowed the 2B2T Times to remain actively updating for the past 6 months, without being overwritten, even while the rest of the server is constantly struggling with their maps being overwritten. Recently, though, the Mapart War has escalated, and a shop has overwritten all of the map art several times within the past month, and have infuriated many other groups in the community that just want to be able to spread their map art. Furthermore, the map arts are often left in the negative IDs after the reset, which means that no one can even make any new maps until they waste 32,000 empty maps to get the map ID numbers back positive. If this is confusing, I don't blame you. It took me a while to wrap my head around it as well, but I've been making map art for a few years now. Within the past few weeks, you have not been able to make a new map that will last longer than a few days at a time, due to the constant back and forth resetting of the maps. And overall, the 2B2T Times has spent around 1 million maps between distributing them and using them to get our map ID number back by resetting all the maps. So, what is the endgame? Can this really just go on forever? There is a large community of map artists on 2B2T that just want to be able to enjoy their art. There are a few things that can happen. Now, an update to the server could really change the way this interaction works, as later versions have somewhere upwards of 1 billion unique map ID numbers available, which would be nearly impossible to run out of. 2B2T has been updating soon for years at this point, so that is unlikely. But the 2B2T Times does still have a few more tricks up its sleeve even now in this version, so keep an eye out in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like to help the channel out. Leave a comment below to let me know if you have any ideas to improve the newspaper. Check out my previous video where I was able to weaponize a freaking Christmas tree on 2B2T, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.